Throughout American Beauty, we see characters being trapped. Figuratively trapped in a job they hate, trapped by others, or in some cases, trapped by their true self. In order to show this off, director Sam Mendes and cinematographer Conrad L. Hull show these characters being literally trapped, be that behind fences, window frames, or my personal favorite example, Lester's reflection in his computer looking like jail cell bars. The entire film uses visual storytelling to enhance the narrative. There's a lot going on with the story, so in order to help supplement the exposition, visuals are used to move the story, but more importantly, the themes forward. Part of what makes American Beauty great is that it focuses on an ensemble of characters. Each of these characters have their own dreams, which all surmount to one thing, and that's freedom. Be that freedom from a loveless marriage, freedom from society, freedom to be who you want to be, or freedom from your parents. Depending on which character you focus on, their perception of beauty changes, which can give the film a different meaning. Throughout the course of the film, we are presented with more and more information about these characters and their journeys on the search for freedom. But I want to focus on Lester. After all, he is the protagonist of the film and offers the most discussion. At the beginning of the movie, he is trapped in a job that he hates, and trapped within a family that shares no love for one another. Within the relationship of the family itself, turmoil is shown through its cinematography. Very rarely do we see the family framed together. Hull and Mendes preferred to shoot the different family members alone in the frames, showing their isolation with one another. Or when they are together, like in this scene, Jane is an afterthought in the background. The only times where we do see the entire family together is in photographs, where they reminisce on the seemingly better times of the past. We also see them when they are forced to be together, either at the dinner table or driving to school and work, or when Lester and Carolyn try to force themselves into Jane's life. I think this is very telling. The past wasn't better because it was a simpler time and everything seemed to work. It was better because they did things together. They were a part of one another's life. Now they have no interest in spending time with one another, but they want to be happy when they are together. But you can't have both. As Lester begins to liberate himself, that again is reflected through the cinematography. Earlier you saw him primarily in wide shots. He was the focus of the frame, but he doesn't necessarily draw your attention. In addition, he is shot from a high angle, something that shows weakness. In all of the confrontations that he is in, he is meant to look weak while the person he is in conversation with looks strong. But as the film progresses, this starts to change. He is shot in high angles and close-ups and medium close-ups. He gains a better perception of himself, and he starts to rebel. He quits his corporate job, he stops caring about things, and his attention shifts to people.
This is just stuff, and it's become more important to you than living.
He starts to take care of himself and gains a better appreciation of art. But that's not true at all. He quits his corporate job to work at a fast food restaurant, one of the biggest industries in the world. His attention doesn't shift from things to people. The first thing he does when he quits his job was buy a car, and upon quitting his job, avoids his family almost completely, spending his time alone in the garage. The only time he sees them is in a very familiar setting at the dinner table. As for taking care of himself, he may work out more, but that is counterbalanced with increased drug use. His appreciation for art is the definition of superficial. In this scene, he incorrectly sings the lyrics to American Woman. Of course, all of this is brought into motion by his perverse yet natural attraction to Angela, a 17-year-old minor. He is really attracted to her because of her free spirit. She is young and free and can do whatever she wants, which is ultimately what he wants. There is no real love here. In the film, he only meets her 3 times. Instead, it is just another moment of him not understanding what he truly wants, and a desire for things to just work without having to work for it. All of this adds up to one moment, a self-reflective moment where Lester realizes what he has been doing. He has been harming his marriage, pushing himself away from his daughter, and giving up the life he had. It's the same moment Colonel Fitz, Angela, Jane, and Carolyn all had. They take a step back and look at life. They see they aren't happy. They aren't solving their problems, they're just hiding them, but in the process of doing so, making them so much worse. American Beauty is a movie about bad people. People who disregard others to try and make themselves happy. But there is still beauty in these people. True beauty and true freedom comes from accepting that you don't have control over every aspect of life. No matter how hard you try, there are things out of your hands, things that you will have no control over. In the film, the track Any Other Name plays twice. Once when Ricky is showing Jane the video of the plastic bag, and at the end when Ricky and Jane discover Lester's body. In both of these scenes, Ricky spots what is true beauty, and that is accepting life, and focusing on the small things to make you happy. We see this to a degree with the plastic bag, but much more clearly with Lester, who for the first time in the movie finds true happiness. There are extremes to life. Some things can be great while others are terrible. The secret to finding happiness is to focus on the good things, and in order to do that, all you have to do is look closer. Thank you so much for watching. American Beauty is far and away one of my favorite movies of all time. Upon researching it for this video, I learned that a good number of people who adamantly dislike this movie are out there, which was surprising to me. The two most common complaints about the movie is that the message is either too heavy-handed, which I disagree with, there isn't a definitive answer, and it's a movie that opens the door for discussion and conversation. The other one states that Lester's obsession with a minor is horrible, which it is, and shouldn't be glamorized, but let's not forget, in the end, Lester comes to the same conclusion. Anyway, make sure you drop a comment and get your thoughts out there, and I'd love to start a discussion down in the comments below. Anyway, so this was episode 59, meaning next week will be episode 60 and my first longer and much more deeper analysis of the year. I'm very excited to bring you that video, but I'm going to keep it a secret of what it's going to be. Anyway, as always, that'll be out next Saturday and will be linked on the right of the screen. On the left is my last video where we discussed The Prestige. Be sure to check it out if you haven't seen it yet, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.